Oh, hey everybody, and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author. And today is a very special day because we've reached episode 100, which is an exciting little milestone. And it just goes to show you what you can accomplish when you set yourself a goal of doing something that adds value to so many people around the world and doing it consistently. And I do it every single day, every day. And to me, it's my way of adding back. It's my way of helping others learn from my mistakes, my growth, my learnings, and help make a difference in your life in some way. And so today, I wanted to talk about culture because I don't know, it's funny how your kids challenge your thinking sometimes, and they'll ask a question because of the schoolwork, and I think, man, I never got asked any questions like that when I was at school. Like, I didn't have to answer these types of questions. And just as I was walking out the door right now for my eldest daughter, and I'm going to school to pick up my youngest one because my eldest is still doing homeschooling for one more week, and she was asking me about what are some innovative examples of culture in companies. And we were talking about a few different things. And it got me thinking about the culture that you have set for your company. And I think this is really, really important because I remember back when I was working in a corporate environment, one of my first jobs was as an internal auditor. And it was my second job from working away from a chartered accounting firm. I got my career start in Coopers & Lybrand, which is now PricewaterhouseCoopers, and from there I went to Telstra, which is Australia's largest telecommunications company, huge company, and I was there for a few years, and the role just wasn't the right one for me. I was being well underutilised and overpaid for what it was that I was doing, and I needed something that was more challenging. So I went into this, it's called RACV, which is the Automobile Club of Victoria here, and I really quite enjoyed the role. I learned quite a lot in the role, but after 4.5 years, it's about 4.5 years of being in that role, working with that small team, and I was one of the senior members in the team, that I realised that I really didn't like the culture within the team. The culture within the organisation was pretty good, but the culture within the team I found quite toxic. And what I mean by that is it was largely male-dominated, and the banter was quite negative. The feedback was always kind of like a backhanded compliment. I felt underappreciated, I guess, for the work that I did. And I just didn't enjoy it. I would leave the office and be breathing a sigh of relief that I don't have to be surrounded by the negative talk about others and all that kind of stuff. So I opted to leave that, and that was probably a really good, I guess, example for me as to just how important culture was to me in the decisions that I made. And with my organisation, I mean, I work with various people from time to time, and the employees that I've had before, I like to set a certain culture, and for my clients, I like to set a culture for my business, which I'll talk about in a moment. And I think it's really important that we work hard to create the right culture for us. So what does culture mean? I was explaining it to my eldest, and I said, well, because I explained it in my words and she didn't understand, I thought, okay, maybe I haven't explained that really that well. And I said, well, it's kind of like your values and beliefs that you have, and they sit within a company, and the way that you live is based on a certain set of values and beliefs. So for instance, some people live in gangs, they might take drugs, they might commit crimes, and they get a sense of togetherness and significance because of the way that they live in those environments, and even though it's in disempowering way and maybe illegal, that's the culture that they have created, and that's what they enjoy living in. And I said, but you, for instance, are living in a different culture because of your values and beliefs. Now, where do they come from? Well, obviously a lot of those have come from her mum and from me, because of what we believe in and treating others as you would like to be treated. And she also starts to shape her own values and beliefs based on her friendships, whatever it is that she's watching on TV, movies, that kind of stuff, and things that she might read, and what she finds maybe particularly appealing for a variety of reasons. And then she starts to say, well, but you know what? I like the sound of that. Or I like what these people are doing. I want to do that too. And all of a sudden that becomes like a value and belief. And I said, for instance, if you take the Isagenix company, one of the things that attracted me to the Isagenix company was the culture. They have an incredible culture. And when I was explaining that to Emily, I said, well, it's like this. I said they have established a culture of having the world's best products. They want to be the world's best nutrition company. They have a family culture, and so it's still run by the original founders. It's still owned by that same family, and they're passing it down the ownership through to their son, Eric Coover. And so you know that it's not just being taken over by some big corporate conglomeration and maybe the sense of values are being lost. They also rate very highly how important it is to source the best products from around the world. It's important for them to make sure that those products are sourced from farmers that are using appropriately safe farming techniques, and not using herbicides, and doing all of those kinds of things, and making sure that they're testing all their products via labs to make sure that the batches of ingredients that they get in are first grade, so that they're not compromising the products ever. Their latest big one is around recycling, and looking at all their various packaging products and seeing how can they be packaging their products better out of recycled materials and have less wastage. And I think their goal is by 2023 to have it's a very high percentage of their products being made from 100% recyclable materials. They said one of the problems they have right now is that there aren't companies around the world that have the equipment to be able to produce the packaging and the products in the volumes that they need for their products. So that's a real problem. So they're working with people so that they can get ready for those things, and they're constantly moving with innovations in their packaging and stuff. And if you just think about from when I was a child to now, and the various innovations that they've had with packaging, I think that's quite exciting. But bottom line, all of these things come down to one of the cultures that they set for the organisation, and to me that fits really well with me. The culture that I've created within my business is really about a fitness family. So if you work with us, then you become part of our family, and that means that you're welcome into my home. We work with you. I get to know you very well. I get to know your family well, your children. I could look up any one of my clients and tell you I've probably spent an hour talking about everything that I know about that particular client, because I get to know them all really well, so that we can work on a deeper level with people and really understand what it is that's going on in their lives, so that we can say, okay, well, I can see that this is going on. So using various allied health professionals, coaching techniques, different tools that we can help get people the outcomes that they're truly looking for. And to me, that's exciting. That's really exciting. but that's the culture that I set. And then when people come to work for me, anyone that comes to work with me, I'm always talking to them and looking to them to be really passionate about our business and what it is that we do, and looking for the right people that are willing to do that, and then looking for people that are also wanting to be part of the business, and down the track being gaining a share in the business, buying into the business, and doing those types of transactions with your staff, so that they've really got skin in the game. It's not easy to find the right people always that are going to want to come on that journey with you, but that's what I'm looking for. And again, my staff become part of my family. All the people that I work with around the world, I consider them a close part of my team, a close part of my family, and a really important part in our success. And to me, that's exciting, because the more people that you have in your team that are excited about what it is that you do, it helps keep that energy flowing, and you keep producing the results that you really want to achieve. And that's why we do what we do. It's really exciting. But I think often we don't place enough emphasis and focus on what having that right culture is, and maybe not even giving it any particular thought at all as to, well, what sort of culture should we be driving? Mine is driven by, I guess, my heart, my passion, what it is that I truly want to achieve for the people that I work with, and I've just extrapolated that throughout the company. So it's just what we do. It's just how can I say? It's like our moral fibre, I suppose, within our organisation. So I wonder, when you look at yourself, you look at your business, whether you have the culture that you really want right now. Do you need to do some more work on that? I know that I've received various bumps along the way in my business via staff, or whether it's be via clients, where I've pivoted and changed. And I know certainly when I started out my business, so I'm just going to take a sip. When I first started out on my business, one thing's for sure, I wasn't focusing on culture. I was focusing on, how do I get clients into this business? How do I start, paying the bills? How do I start helping people and doing all those things? I didn't think about culture, and I reckon it's probably only been the last 4 years that I've realised that when you really do focus on that culture, things change. And what caused me to, I guess, rethink about culture and where I was taking my business was, I wasn't where I wanted to be. And I thought, well, I wonder why that is. And when I pulled it apart, I thought, maybe I'm focusing more on me rather than the clients, and the success of me rather than the success of clients. And when I realised that, if I make as many people successful as possible, then what I want will come. And once I realised that, I thought, I need to shift where my focus is. And so that's where I started to shift about being this fitness family. And the word family is really powerful. And when I connect to and communicate with people, I say to them, well, you become, if you want to go with us, then you do become part of my family. I mean, you've got my personal mobile number, you've got my personal email address, you can reach out to me 24/7. Yes, I may not get back to you between the hours when I'm sleeping, but we're always here, and all you need to do is reach out and ask, and I'm certainly there for you. And once I started to change that and have those conversations, that resulted in me building deeper connections with clients. So rather than just taking on clients, sorry, I've got to take another sip. I'm a bit dry. Rather than just taking on clients, I was really taking on family members, and I thought, I've got to do better at building the relationships within the organisation and building those deeper connections with my clients, asking them better questions. And I think about the way that I coach now versus the way that I coached when I first opened the business, and it's really quite different. I think it's more caring now. I think I'm better at asking questions, but it all comes back to what am I trying to achieve for this person here? And for me, I talk openly to people about this, and I ask them very specific questions so that we can make a change. And I say, well, what I want to achieve for you is an optimized level of health. I love that word, optimized health. Being in that top 1% of health. And I want you to establish these lifestyle habits that will last you a lifetime because they're sustainable and you enjoy the process. And when you do that, you'll find that you'll get the results. You just have to stay the course of finding those things that are going to work for you, sustainable for you, and you stick with those and just keep working and the results will come. You'll change your mindset, you focus on the right things more often, and that's where you get the results. Right now what's happening is most people focus on the wrong thing too often, and they don't get the result that they want, but they get the result that they've been working for, if that makes sense. So for instance, I just had a discussion before with one of my coaching clients, and I said, the challenge for you is to not get lost in focusing on the numbers, focusing on the scales, because the numbers on the scales are always going to be there. But if you focus on the right things consistently, I said, try and forget about the scales, but focus on this. Focus on sticking to your meal plan. Focus on getting that in consistently. Focus on drinking your 1.5, 2+ liters of water a day. Focus on walking on the other days when you're not seeing me. She sees me 3 days a week. Focus on getting the right amount of sleep, and just focus on doing those things consistently, and you watch how things start to change for you. Because we get lost in the number. You look at the number, you feel disappointed, you feel it's not working. Okay, I'll stop and just go back and do what I was doing before. This takes a long time for people to necessarily make the big change that they need to. But the point is about doing it consistently and doing it in a way that is going to support you and be sustainable for you. And that's where you get these exciting results. So wherever you are in the world, you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.